In the heart of Ondo, in a small community named Iju, there was a salon like no other. This was not your regular average neighborhood barber shop. This place was legendary. They say it was where men went in and came out changed men. The salon was named Cleopatra's Touch Salon. Men flooded the salon like ants to a dropped sugar cube, hungry, eager, and willing to do anything for a taste of sweetness. It was more than a salon to them. It was where they came to relax and be taken care of. They didn't mind spending whatever it took to get Cleopatra's touch. Cleo and her friend / business partner, Aisha, did their job perfectly. Their routine was super. They welcomed the men, gave them a haircut, washed their hair afterwards. Then the slow, sensual massage followed before they proceeded to giving them a warm feet wash. This was the one that makes them fall asleep briefly. Life was good. My guy, have you gone to the newest salon in town? This is like heaven on earth, I tell you. Akin told his friend over drinks on one calm evening. No, I've not been there. I'm very particular about girls nowadays. But wait, what exactly are they even doing there, if not just barb hair? Please, I'm loyal to my barber Joe. Tundi replied Akin, sounding uninterested. Tundi, I can't just explain how they do their things, but all I can say is that they are doing something right. Because I can't just stop going there. In fact, I go there as much as twice a week. My wife is even starting to ask me why I cut my hair so much these days. But I only tell her that I want to look good for her always. She has no idea that a very sexy lady is my barber. And to be honest, I intend to keep it that way, I beg. Akin concluded. Was all Tunde could mutter. He had a very curious nature, and he wondered why his friend said he could not explain what goes on in the salon. So, right there, he decided to uncover this mystery by going to the salon himself. On that day, he was welcomed warmly by Cleopatra's receptionist, Tammy, and he was given a seat to wait his turn as there was a seemingly long queue. He became more relaxed when he saw how fast the barbers were. At least I would not wait for hours on end, he muttered as he took a sip of the red wine he was offered. The salon smelled like luxury. The interior decor was an elegant mix of modern, chic, and subtle African opulence. Velvet chairs and deep purple and gold trimmed mirrors lined the walls. The floors were polished marble that gleamed under soft lighting. On the wall hung a very large portrait of Cleopatra, regal and serene. Tundi observed every single detail of the salon and watched in awe of the amazing services that were rendered. He watched the well-dressed and polished men around him, all engrossed in their own world of foot baths and massages. Their faces and moods relaxed in ways that spoke of more than just physical comfort. He could feel the air of wealth and power that hung like a perfume in the room, but he didn't let it distract him. He was taking mental notes of the way things were done around there. Tunde never bothered to ask how much each haircut cost, because in his mind, it wouldn't be more than 30k bata. After all, a trim was a trim, right? When his turn finally came, he was led to the barber's chair, and the moment he sank into the velvet cushion, he felt a strange weight lift from his shoulders. It was as if the chair had swallowed all his stress. A warm towel was first used to drape around his neck, and Chloe, knowing that it was his first time, decided to barb him herself. Tunde found himself too relaxed to start bothering or asking about prices. The gentle touch of the Chloe's hands gave him a sense of being cared for in a way he hadn't known he needed. Tunde could feel the tension falling off his body with every cut. He had never experienced a haircut like that before. After the cut, Chloe bent to whisper in his ears. "Would you like the full treatment?" she asked, smiling seductively. Tunde nodded in full agreement. This whole experience felt so good for him not to want more. Then, almost immediately, Aisha appeared wearing a short black free skirt and white shirt, almost like that of a Korean drama high school. Her hands gliding onto his shoulders with the grace of someone who had done this 1,000 times before. The pressure was firm but soothing, like the hands of a goddess who understood the assignment. Tunde closed his eyes for a moment, almost falling asleep. Everything felt like a dream to him, like he slipped into a different realm altogether. The spa-like treatment seemed to slow time. Aisha slowly whispered into his ears, "Just let go, Tundi. Everything here is for you." Next thing, Lola, a tall and elegant young lady, appeared with a golden bowl of warm, soothing water. "Good day, Mr. Tundi. I am here to give you the best pedicure you have ever received." Tunde adjusted accordingly, amazed and wowed at how he was being treated like a king. Lola went on to place his 2 feet inside the bowl. The water was so warm it felt like a hug from an old friend. Lola's hands worked. Oh, how they walked over his feet with the precision of a massage therapist and the grace of a ballerina. After this session, Lola dried his feet with a towel soft like a baby's cheeks, and she applied a very luxurious ointment as the last treat. "You're all done now, Mr. Tunde," Lola said, smiling. Tunde sat speechless for a moment, unsure of how to process what had just happened. His feet felt light, his body relaxed, and his mind felt empty, like that of a Nigerian politician's promises. Finally, it was time to pay, and when he was billed 100,000 naira, he smiled sheepishly and brought out his ATM card. But as soon as he left and got into his Toyota Camry car that he'd been managing for 5 years plus, reality hit him like Zuma rock. Ding ding, a debit alert popped up on his phone and his jaw dropped like a sack of rice falling from the top shelf. He rubbed his eyes to see clearly. 100K for a haircut? Ẹ gbà mí o! What just happened to me?" he shouted at nobody in particular. His head spun as he tried to process the cost. How could I have paid 100K? Was I hypnotized? He kept questioning himself. Tunde could not explain what happened inside that salon. It felt like a strange dream he could not remember. All he knew was that his body felt like he had just been run over by a train. His muscles were sore, his head was buzzing, and his wallet was suddenly lighter. He had just spent the money he was supposed to give his wife for housekeeping. What am I going to tell my wife? I'd rather not tell her anything. No. That woman can smell anything from miles away, he said as he started his engine and eventually drove off. This was the reality of most men that came to Cleopatra's salon. But the funny thing is, does this even stop them from returning to the same salon they swore rapes them? No. They always go back like an addict struggling to break free. Soon, the wives of these married men began to notice some weird behaviors with their husbands. They would ask for money for food or housekeeping, and the husbands will swear that they didn't have any money, but will secretly go and pay 100,000 naira for a haircut in Chloe's salon. Tunde's wife, Iyabisi was not left out. In fact, her instincts were on a very high frequency. So, after a few salon visits, she caught up. She sensed something was oddly wrong with her husband. Honey, this one you are getting a haircut every single week. What's going on? This is unlike you. She questioned Tundi on a very good evening as they were watching a Nigerian news on their flat screen TV. Tunde scratched his head before answering. Nothing, no. Just decided recently to, take my self-care more seriously and also to always look good for you, my darling wife. Iyabisi smiled briefly and said, That's sweet. But the thing is, I saw your barber the other day and he said it had been a while he saw you last. And I thought to myself, that's strange. I was not wondering when you changed barbers, Sonny, she asked calmly, still watching TV. Tunde began to act awkwardly. I did change barbers, my love. Akin, my friend, he told me about someone more competent. And surprisingly, it was true. I got hooked after trying them out. He managed to answer. Okay, that's fine, Iyabisi responded casually. Little did Tunde know that she already made up her mind to find out what was really going on. One day, as Tunde was getting ready to use his last card to visit Chloe's salon, his wife was looking around, observing. She was determined to get to the root of the fact that her husband doesn't give her money anymore. He's always claiming to be broke, but somehow managing to squeeze out money to cut his hair every Eke market day like a supermodel. Once Tunde drove off, boom, Iyabisi followed, codedly. She had heard some of her friends talk about the new gentleman's salon in town around the Major Road 2 roundabout. So she sensed that was where Tunde had been going to. No one knew how they operated or what they did specially to make their men talk. So Iyabisi hid in a nearby bush, peeking through the big glass window to find out exactly what was going on. But to her utmost disappointment, the glass was a one-way glass. Outsiders cannot see inside, whereas you have a good view of the world from inside. Disappointed, she decided to wait for her husband to come out. By the time Tunde was done, it was already dark. So, something inside of her told her to wait for the barber shop to close, to even see the people behind the name Cleopatra's Touch. So, she re-strategized and parked at a safe distance where she could see everything properly. First, it was the receptionist that left. Then came Lola, a very tall, beautiful lady, dressed to perfection. This one, fine girls are coming out of this salon. Is it only ladies that barb hair here? Iyabisi muttered to herself, still very vigilant. Next, it was Aisha and Cleopatra strutting out like bosses, dressed in very cute bodycon red and black dresses with jean jackets and high heels that were longer than a tin of milk. They carried a big black sack bag each on their hands. Iyabisi's jaw dropped. She pinched her eye to make sure she was seeing properly. She watched as Chloe and Aisha locked up the shop and said to herself, Hey, wonder shall never cease. So, these are the owners of this salon. You don't mean it. This is where Tunde's funds has been going to, eh? I will see to the end of this today, she said to herself. She watched as Chloe and Aisha went to the back of the salon, inside the bush where she hid earlier. Iyabisi's curiosity rose like rice on fire. She quietly left her car and found a way to follow them unnoticed. Watching from a safe distance, behind a big tree, Iyabisi's eyes widened, her breath barely steady as she watched a strange ritual unfold in front of her. From her spot, she could see Cleopatra and Aisha, no longer the glamorous salon owners, but now something more mysterious. Before them was a large drum of water, its surface shimmering in the dim light. Slowly, they removed their wigs, revealing their natural hair, and they started pouring the water over their heads. The soft sound of their humming filled the air, but it wasn't a song. It was a chant, something very unnatural. Ahum, ahum. Iyabisi's heart pounded in her chest. She was too far to hear the words, but there was something in their tone that made her skin crawl. The chant was strange, almost hypnotic. Then, as if that wasn't enough to send chills down her spine, Aisha and Cleopatra opened the big black sack they were holding and poured out hairs, the ones that they had cut from their customers. They made a huge pile with the hairs. Their voices were low, and again, Iyabisi could barely hear them clearly, but she managed to hear things like, "These men will return to us. They will come back again and again. They won't be able to explain why they can't stay away. Ahem." As this ritual unfolded, Iyabisi's heart raced, and with trembling hands, she pulled out her phone to record. This had to be documented. She needed proof, something to show Tundi and the rest of the community, so that they can understand the evil that had been happening right under their nose. And then, just as Iyabisi was about to retreat back to her car, before they noticed her, her phone buzzed. A notification. Her heart nearly leapt out of her chest. She froze. Immediately, Aisha and Chloe, mid-incantation, suddenly paused. Their heads turned towards the same direction of the sound. Both were on high alert, like a lion sensing an intruder. Iyabisi quickly ducked, hoping they won't see her. "Did you hear that?" Aisha whispered. Chloe's eyes narrowed, scanning the shadows like a hawk. "Someone's here, watching us," she whispered back urgently. The panic hit her like downfall truck. They both knew the consequences of someone seeing them perform their rituals. Babalawo warned them. So, without another word, they scrambled, their movements frantic and disorganized. They hurriedly shoved the hairs back into the black sacks. Panic gripped them, and they lost all their steeze and calmness. They had to get out of there, fast. "We have to leave now," Chloe muttered, almost shouting. She quickly grabbed Aisha's arms, pulling her out as they ran out of the scene. Iyabisi held her breath, barely daring to move. She stayed still until she was sure they had left. She then quietly slipped out, her mind racing with everything that had just happened. The next morning, Cleopatra's touch salon was flooded with clients, just as it has always been every other morning. By 8 a.m., the place was packed, the usual hustle and bustle filling the air. But something was different this time. People crowded outside, but none of them came near the doorway. Plus, they were carrying stones and canes like people that were doing riots. As Chloe and Aisha pulled up to work that morning and saw what was happening, they quietly slipped into their salon through the back door. "What exactly is going on out there?" Chloe asked Temi, the receptionist, who looked more confused and scared at the same time. I really do not know, ma. I came to work and saw the mob, and I slid in through the back door hoping no one saw me." Chloe and Aisha's hearts skipped a beat, their mind still reeling from the events of last night. Had someone seen them? "Oh, I told you we should be more careful," Aisha muttered with an anxiety-laced tone. "Ah, we were warned though, we don't mess up," her Yoruba accent took over. Cleopatra shot her a sharp, bombastic side eye. "Don't you start with me now, Aisha. We need to find out what's up first. Then we can know how to fix it, okay?" So, they made a plan to calmly go outside to find out what was really wrong. As they advanced the entrance door and reached to open the door, it started. Stone after stone landed on the windows of the salon, targeting Chloe and Aisha as well. Shocked, they immediately ran back inside to hide. Fear gripped them as they heard the shouting, anger and sound of stones crashing against their beautiful glass windows. Iyabisi had done it. She had leaked the video on their community WhatsApp group. The footage of the ritual spread like Iyabasira's amala and ewedu. It was everywhere. The men who were the victims of this enchantment, together with their wives, were very angry. They felt scammed and betrayed, and they were not planning to stop. They were ready to tear down Cleopatra's touch salon, piece by piece. Chloe and Aisha cowered inside as they tried to figure out their next move. But there was no escape. Babalawo had told them that they would lose everything and that chaos would follow once they were seen performing their rituals. After some minutes, the police arrived and the crowd dispersed. They went on to arrest Chloe and Aisha for deceit and scamming behavior. But then, after a few months of staying in the prison, they were allowed bail, but it came with a very grave cost. It took everything they had worked for: their salon, cars, house, savings, everything. They had eventually hit rock bottom. The once prosperous city girls were now forgotten like an uninteresting movie. When they were free from cell, they ran for their lives and stayed hidden because they knew that a community like Iju never forgets. Would you like to know why such salon was built in the first place? Would you like to know what motivated the birth of Cleopatra's touch? Let us know in the comment section and we would consider creating a part 2 just for you. Okay? Did you learn something from this story? Let us know in the comment section below. Did you enjoy this story? Also let us know. Please and please kindly like and subscribe. It would mean a lot to us. Until next time, bye.